Hello, teachers.
Hello.
Have you ever thought about teaching your students about the effects of low socio-economic status on their learning in a fun manner rather than just like reading through a textbook? Is that a yes? Look no further.
You can teach your students about the impacts of low SES on their learning outcomes by using our free resource that we've created. It's called Hand in Hand, a student's path to improved learning.
Hand in Hand is based on snakes and ladders but with a twist that we hope to highlight how the learning outcomes of students are impacted by their socio-economic status in a simplified yet effective manner.
Players play as students and must follow the path to improved learning. The students holding hands along the path symbolizes collaborative learning, signifying that through working together, students can achieve better learning outcomes.
Before the game starts, players must identify whether they are playing as a student from a lower socioeconomic status background or a student who comes from a higher SES. To do this, first divide the number of game players in half. One half plays as low SES students, the other half plays as higher SES students.
Players position their student game pieces on the board at the start square. Players may roll the dice to determine who goes first.
However, higher SES students will always go before the lower SES students.
This is aimed at highlighting the preferential treatment of students from higher SES backgrounds due to their higher class status in society, as seen through the sociological lens of Marxism.
Once players have determined the SES background of their students, they can then commence play. Remember, higher SES students go first. Roll the 2 dice to determine the number of spaces to be moved by the student on their journey to improve learning. As players progress along the path, their student may encounter red squares and or green squares. Red squares take the place of the traditional snake and highlight negative impacts to students' learning which may occur in their education journey.
Players receive a penalty for landing on a red square and must move back the specified number of spaces shown on the board, or follow the arrow to the square directly below on the game board. However, while negative impacts affect all students, the game has an added twist.
This further highlights societal impacts and class power struggles as seen from a Marxist perspective. While the directions specifically given below the red squares on the game board apply to students from low SES backgrounds, they do not apply to those from higher SES backgrounds. Instead, those students from higher SES backgrounds that land on the red square simply move back 2 spaces. This emphasises the imbalance in society, which favours the higher classes over the lower, and emphasises how hard it is for students of low SES backgrounds to achieve improved learning outcomes.
Green squares, on the other hand, replace the traditional ladder and highlight the positive impacts teachers can have on improving the learning outcomes of students. Players that land on a green square are rewarded and directed to move to the square directly above them on the game board. The ladders on the game board are created from students standing on the shoulders of teachers, symbolising teachers helping students to reach improved learning outcomes.
Note, however, that there is no differentiation in the reward received based on students' SES background. All students receive the same reward, which helps to emphasise the efforts of teachers to provide equitable learning and equal opportunity to all their students, as viewed through the lens of the critical theory. This concludes the walkthrough of the game rules.
Thank you for watching. We hope you will utilise this free resource to help you with your teaching. Goodbye.